Coming up, some school districts in Kentucky are closing due to the flu.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. We begin with some breaking news out of Knox County. Officials say a crash involving two cars on US 25E happened this evening in front of Knox Central High School. We're told multiple people were injured, but it's not clear how severe those injuries are. There were reports of 3 EMS units as well as 4 helicopters at the scene. As of now, that road is still closed. It's not known when it may reopen. We'll, of course, have updates as we get them on WYMT.com. Across Kentucky, flu cases are starting to affect schools. Powell County and Wayne County have both canceled classes for the rest of the week. Jackson Independent in Breathitt County is also out the rest of the week. Grayson Passmore talked to the superintendent of that district tonight.
Anytime that we're below 80%, it's cause for alarm, and we want to make sure again that we look at the safety of our students and the safety of our staff and the safety of our community as well.
A post we've all become familiar with. Jackson Independent Schools letting families know due to sickness. Wednesday and Thursday of this week will be non-traditional instruction days. This time the culprit seems to be the flu. And our school nurse and our school secretary continue to call us and let us know we have students that are coming in with 101 temperature or above. So those students were sent home. Superintendent Wayne Sizemore says they ended the day with only 70% attendance, and they aren't the only district facing this problem. Powell County and Wayne County schools have canceled classes through the end of the week, both citing a rise in flu cases. Clark County Schools says it's also monitoring the number of flu cases in the district, but for now, still plan to be in school Wednesday. Fortunately, we have the vehicles and we have the technology to be able to provide non-traditional instruction to our students without hopefully missing a beat.
That was Grayson Passmore reporting. Sizemore says this is hopefully just a little bump in the road, and they'll have healthy students and staff back at school next week. A bigger issue weighing on his mind right now, though, is the fact that many of his students and staff are still living without heat following the July flood. Now, while they'll do NTI days Wednesday and Thursday, Friday will be a traditional closing for Jackson Independent Schools.
Well, the clouds have been ever present throughout the daytime and evening hours, and I think we're going to be, well, we're already familiar with the clouds, but we'll get to know them a little bit more through the next few days. Temperatures remain in the lower to middle 50s throughout the region at the moment, and we can, if I can talk, continue to see temperatures start to drop in some spots. How about low 40 or middle 40s down into the 40s into Southwest Virginia. Wise at 46, Clintwood 47. That matches Irvin there on the other side of the area in the Kentucky River Valley. And we'll continue to see those temperatures fall through the 50s this evening. You see more clouds beginning to take shape out west. Here they come, along with a few showers, but you can see they're running into the dry air monster, if you will, as that continues to move up through the area. Upper 40s tonight with mostly cloudy skies, and we should stay dry. Now, I'll have details on when we could see a return to some more spring-like weather. That's in a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. Shirley Holcomb lost her house the night of the floods and thought she may never have a home again. But today, Holcomb was able to move into a new home for free. WYMT's Keaton Hall has more from Whitesburg.
Shirley Holcomb's story is similar to many people who experienced the eastern Kentucky floods.
It was horrible. It was like a nightmare.
Holcomb and her granddaughter were trapped in her home for hours with floodwaters neck high.
I kept telling her to go out that back door, and not realizing that she couldn't get out the back door and that he couldn't even get the helicopter in and get her out. They finally had to come and let the water go down just a little bit, enough to get down to her.
Holcomb lost her home that she had lived in for 37 years. But on Tuesday, Holcomb was gifted a new one from Appalachia Service Project. And they hope hers is the first of many.
We have one home being framed. We have another home that the foundation's on. And so we're planning for the first 7 or 8, and we're hoping that the funding keeps following. We started the same way in West Virginia a few years ago, ended up building 78 homes.
In total, ASP volunteers hope to build around 100 homes for Eastern Kentucky flood survivors.
And to see the result of so many people volunteering and caring about not just this family, but families all through Eastern Kentucky, and to watch Shirley get the key to her new home was a pretty emotional moment.
You know, we've been on television in Eastern Kentucky a whole lot for really sad situations with this flood, and this is finally a really happy one.
A bright spark after a long, dark night.
I think so much of everybody that have done this and showed me that life can get better when it's bad. It can get better.
And a bit of hope for a region in recovery. In Whitesburg, Keaton Hall, WYMT Mountain News.
All of the furniture inside Holcomb's home was also donated. The Housing Development Alliance received a $50,000 donation from the Eastman Foundation in Kingsport, Tennessee, to build a new home for an Eastern Kentucky flood survivor. Because the HDA does not receive funding for flood relief and recovery, the organization supports survivors through the generosity of donors. Eastman also gave money to the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky and Appalachia Service Project today. The deadline to apply for FEMA and SBA aid for flood victims was last Friday, but the disaster recovery centers are still open with FEMA, Kentucky Emergency Management, mitigation specialists, and the Small Business Administration. Employees from the various organizations are on site, available to help.
We just want to make sure that people understand that the disaster recovery centers are going to be open. We are staffed and ready to help those applicants, those SBA applicants, come and speak about their application. We can pull those forms up and go line by line to identify any mistakes if you had a denial letter.
The disaster recovery centers are located in Perry, Breathitt, Pike, Letcher, and Knott counties. Multi-agency resource centers are located in Clay and Floyd counties. November is here, which means temperatures will likely start dropping soon. Many families are beginning the switch over to heat on their thermostats to begin warming their homes for the winter season, but the price for staying warm can be expensive. Executive Director of LKLP Community Action Agency, Ricky Baker, says they offer something to help.
The LIHEAP program is essential to helping people with that basic heating cost to help subsidize that. It won't pay for the entire heating season, but it helps subsidize that so they have available income to spend on other needs such as medicine, food, anything else that they may need. So it is very critical.
Families must meet specific income requirements to get aid from the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, or LIHEAP. One city in Floyd County has announced a new emergency service to improve response times throughout the county. WYMT's Jordan Mullins has more with officials in Prestonsburg and how its new ambulance service could help all of Floyd County.
Officials with the city of Prestonsburg noticed a need within the community when it comes to emergency services.
Our fire department gets to the scene in 3 to 6 minutes. And they're administering first aid. They're going through the process. They're literally packaging them for transport. Then we have to wait on the ambulance to get there. And sometimes it's been up to 40, 45, 50 minutes.
On Tuesday evening at the Mountain Arts Center, officials announced the newest addition to the city's fire department, 2 fully equipped ambulances to assist with emergency calls within the city limits.
We decided that if we could have an ambulance at the city of Prestonsburg and cover just 911 calls, that it would free up these other 2 agencies to be able to do 911 calls out in the county, transfers, and other emergencies that are not in the city limits of Prestonsburg.
Taking the strain off existing ambulance services and increasing response time throughout the county.
It's not because any other ambulance service has bad quality. They have great service. It's just limited personnel. And we had the personnel here at City Hall and in our fire department.
And providing a much-needed service to the town's citizens.
I mean, I think it's an awesome thing to add to the community. It's going to be a very, very big asset to the citizens of Prestonsburg and everyone even passing through it. And the citizens deserve the service.
taking action to assure the safety of those who call Floyd County home. In Prestonsburg, Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
Mayor Les Stapleton added that because of recent changes to laws, licenses, and other legal guidelines around ambulance services, the city was able to streamline the process of applying for its EMS crew. The Floyd County Sheriff's Office now has 8 school resource officers sworn in to serve Floyd County schools, but officers were not the only ones being sworn in today. Following the deadly Allen ambush this summer, the Floyd County Sheriff's Office has partnered with Lifeguard Emergency Medical Services to cross-train officers and ambulance employees. Officers are being trained on how to treat life-threatening injuries, among other skills.
And God forbid another incident like just happened months ago, or maybe in a school mass shooting, or just anywhere, that our response time will be greatly enhanced, our training will be greatly enhanced, our service will be greatly enhanced, and we'll be able to provide a service unmatched to any other.
Following today's swearing-in ceremony, there is now a school resource officer at every school in the Floyd County District. Tributes are continuing today for London police officer Logan Medlock. Police say he was hit and killed by a drunk driver early Sunday morning. Officer Medlock graduated from the Department of Criminal Justice in January 2020 and came home to serve the community he loved. Hundreds gathered in London last night for a candlelight vigil in honor of Officer Medlock. His friends tell us they are holding on to special memories of him.
Without a doubt, he's probably one of the best guys around, and he definitely showed God's love in a practical way, better than anybody, you know, and he definitely was committed and dedicated to what he done.
But as a young man, he taught a lot of us older guys a lot of lessons. How to humble yourself, how to come to church. Watched him take over Sunday school rooms, teach Sunday school. Man, that's something to be proud of, ain't it, Randy?
The funeral service for Officer Medlock will be this Friday at Corinth Baptist Church in London. The burial will follow at Roark Cemetery in Keavy. Maximus call center workers in London went on strike this morning. They are demanding better working conditions, like more pay and more breaks after phone calls. They say their busy time is right now as enrollment opened today for the Affordable Care Act.
We do have the protection of, the fact we are an organized group. We're not a full union. We hope to get there one day, but we do have solidarity together. We do have, legal support.
Workers say they want to see their pay increase from $15 to $25 an hour. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, a Magoffin County musician and her band released their first music video.
And showers moving in tomorrow, but it won't be enough rain to stop our wildfire threat. The latest on that coming up after this.
My name's Teresa, and this is my addiction recovery care story.